I received this painting for critique, and if you look at this lotus, especially the bottom lotus, okay, this part here, it's done very good because if you can see here, this part here, the water is showing that the lotus leaf partially under the water and this is exposed. And the stroke you look at here is quite well done. Okay. Now let's go back and look at the top leaf here. This leaf, because it's done with a smaller brush, and the angle probably not enough. And sometimes what we can do is we can repeat, but as long as you consistency, it will still have the same effect as the bottom leaf here. Okay. Now, because there's too many strokes, I know some artists would still enjoy a leaf like this, but myself, that I find it that I need to have a bit more variation in the pattern wise. And what happened is in this case here, you can see this pattern being repeated. Okay, and it's repeated here also. Also, the ink variation is a little bit different. I like the stroke here. This stroke here is good. Now, when I look at this also, I wasn't quite sure if this is another leaf or it's a flip leaf, okay? So then I would improve this particular way of doing the leaf, okay? Now, let's also look at this particular flower here. Although the method here is fine, but you notice this flower is directly pointed towards the bottom straight down. Okay. Now this leaf is the angle, if you can tilt it a little bit upwards this way here, will be much better flower. Now let's also look at perhaps another line here. This is another one, which I think the stem is a bit straight. If we can bend this slightly like this, would it be better? Or even the other side would be nicer. And the reason is, again, not too sure whether or not this line and this line has any relationship, or it's from this bottom line carry all the way to here. So if that's the case, then I probably will go out and go a little bit more angle towards this side here. Okay. Right. So this is about all the improvement I can do on this particular painting here. Okay. Now, okay, let me see. Okay, here's a second one. Now this paper is actually a little bit different. Look like there's a slightly sparkle. And I think this picture here is done quite well. Even the composition, because you can see this one has a traditional composition of a C. Okay, so this is good. And then we have a bit coming through this way here. It's nice. And again, it did not hit right in the middle. It's roughly at 1/3 way. So it's very good. Now, if you look at these flower here, what else can I improve? I wish there was a bit of this overlapping. That's the color a little bit lighter compared to the front flower. The back here is a little bit lighter. Now, if you look at this a little bit more careful, you will see that it's somehow there's a stem come out of here, but no joining. It's a little bit interesting. It couldn't possibly come out from this side here. So I would say to improve it, I will go like this. Okay. And so that means there's one more stem come out of there. And one of the things, be careful, is on the bottom here, again, look like this flower is attached to this particular one here. But then this here should go a bit closer. And then you can see here it's the same idea. Should be more closer. Same. Okay, so these are the area that I can improve for this painting wise. Okay, that's it for this particular one here. Okay, here's another magnolia, and also it's done pretty good. Um, However, if we were to look at the magnolia, then again, I would say this is done by putting a white over it. Now, since again, myself, I would have a bit more lighter the white at the back here. Okay, the tone will be much more, the white concentration will be way less. Okay, proportion and the pattern of the flower is not bad. Okay, again, if you look very carefully, this area here seems to be the junction. It's a little bit thick. It should be a little bit more gradual. That's even more improvement. And if you look at this particular petal here, it's white throughout the whole thing. I think you should have a bit of grayish or even a bit of yellowish would all become much better picture. Okay, so that will go to this the same way too. Leaf is done okay. Right. Okay, let me see if there's any more. Yeah, here's another one. Okay, so here we have a leaf. It's not bad, but of course it can be even more better. Okay, so um, this is much better combination of the leaf. Okay, however, if you look at this stem here, this is too thick. And again, it's because it's thick, that's why it gives people impression it's not joined properly. Okay, so if the bottom is so big, then you expect the flower to be bigger. So I would add it here a little bit and then give it here another randomness here. Um, Again, if you look at here, this petal here all the way through almost same uh, distance. Okay, so sometimes when we do this, we gotta be careful about to give a little bit more variation. And if you look at this type of leaf, it's better to have a vein. Okay, so these vein will come out of here. Now the variation of the color here, this is also a little bit too fast to become this color versus the one in the front. And this stem here, it's too straight. Okay, so again, it should be curved a little bit. See, this one here indeed is curved, so that's not bad. But I think this color here is a little bit off compared to the rest of them. Okay, so that's about it. I can, um, ask you to improve. Okay, the flower, in able to improve more, you almost have to show that's a little bit of folding here. Okay. Okay, that